Welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to do a comparison of the premium Garmin Sat Nav, truck Sat Nav, versus the most popular Amazon truck Sat Nav. See how they compare. Now, I've already done a review of the Garmin, and if you'd like to see that, I will put a card up here. So click on that and you can go see the in-depth review that I've done. Now for this comparison, it's just going to be from a navigation point of view. Now I want to see if this will navigate as well as the more expensive Garmin unit. I am going to do a more in-depth review on this in a few weeks time when I've had more of a chance to use it, and what I'll do is, if I've done it by the time you're watching this, there will be another card up above that you can click on. If not, then it's coming. But mainly what I wanted to do is just a navigation, because you know we don't really care how quick they load, we don't really care about all the bells and whistles. We just want to know that they're going to navigate, they're going to avoid low bridges, they're going to avoid weight limits, and we're going to be able to get to where we want to without any issues. So that's mainly what this is about. The more in-depth review will cover all the bells and whistles and compare this to the Garmin. Now this is the Hieha, I think that's how it's pronounced. Hieha, or Hieha. I've been using it for a couple of days now. I've been navigating with it side by side with the Garmin, and I'm actually pleasantly surprised. The route-ins have been exactly the same as the Garmin. You get a little bit more information with the more expensive Sat Nav, but that's what you expect. Anyway, I'm going to pop this in a holder. We'll put it over next to the Garmin and we'll go through a couple of the small details with it. Okay, so as you can see, this is a Android based, and we're home now, and if you go to apps, you will see that we've got all your normal Android based operating system really. You can see you got FM radio, but with it being Google Android based, or Google Android based, I've managed to download my apps onto there. So as you can see, I'm running the Taco Guard that I have a review on and I rave about for being pretty good for keeping track of your driving hours. And you know, I've got TV on here, so that's running normal TV, which isn't bad. It's a pretty good picture. I've got the volume turned down, but you get the gist of it.
It's time for me to get justice once and for all.
But yeah, that's running through my phone at the moment, connected to my phone via Wi-Fi. Now the navigation side of it, it uses the iGo system, so as far as I can make out, it's pretty good. I've not had any problems with it. It's copied all the same route-in that I have with the Garmin. So this is what it opens up with, and you can put all your dimensions in. You got your length, the width, the height. You can tick whether or not you got a trailer, so you're Arctic or not. You can put how many axles you got in, allowed weight and actual weight, and you can put in what freight. So you can put in if you're taking any hazardous materials. With your navigation side, it's pretty easy to do. It's quite clunky compared to the more premium sat navs like the Garmin that I use, but it's pretty easy. You got your address. It doesn't make it obvious where you can put in the postcodes. But if you go to town, you can put postcodes in SO24. You must put a space in, otherwise it won't recognise it as a postcode. 9DZ. Yep. Select next, new route, okay, and there we go. It's as easy as that. Alright, so in this little test we're gonna give it a bit of a high mileage route and see how long it takes to calculate compared to the Garmin. We've got a 180 mile journey here, so P4 space 4. Remember that important space. If you don't put that space in, it won't recognise it as a postcode. JX. Okay, there we go, it's found it. So I think if we go select time, go,
turn back where possible, then take the next right.
So there we go. The cheaper one's got it, and the Garmin is still calculating. It's quite surprising, really. And it's just got it. Alright, for the final part of the test, what I'm going to do is we're going to head on back to the yard now, and I'm going to go back via a low bridge. Now I know this truck will fit under it, but I've set the sat navs, they will go over the height of the bridge. So we'll see how they react, see if they stop us, see if they try to turn us around, and see what happens. So this is a junction that the sat nav isn't going to like us taking, because it's a 13.3 height restriction.
At the roundabout, take the 4th exit.
And the sat nav is set to 14 foot. Both of them are trying to turn us round already. The Garmin was trying to turn us round earlier because the Garmin wanted me to take a different route from when I first started driving.
At the roundabout, take the 4th exit to Salisbury Road.
It didn't want to take us this way at all. The cheaper sat nav is trying to turn us round. Let's see what it does after this roundabout. Both trying to turn us round again, so they're both picking up on the height restriction, and they're trying to turn us round at the next roundabout every time we get to the next roundabout. So I'll join you when we get a bit closer. So these sat navs have been trying to turn me around the whole way down here, and we're just approaching the roundabout of no return. So when we get to the other side of this
roundabout, take the 3rd exit to A338.
Is when we reach the bridge.
Enter the roundabout, take the 3rd exit.
So I am 12.4 and this bridge is 13.2. So we'll be alright, but the sat navs don't think we will be.
Take the 3rd exit. Recalculating route.
Well, there we go. The Jeep one's got it. So the cheaper Sat Nav compared to the Garmin. The actual interface is a little bit clunky. It's not as smooth as the more premium Sat Nav. The sound is much better on the Garmin. The audio on the cheaper Sat Nav is a little bit tinny, can be a little bit muffled, but it is audible. You can hear it, and you can hear the instructions, so that's not bad. The audible instructions on the Garmin are much more detailed than on the cheaper Sat Nav, and it actually gives you details of road names and road numbers, and it will say turn left at McDonald's, or go straight on at the traffic lights, or turn right at the NatWest Bank, whereas the cheaper one will just say take the third exit at the roundabout, turn left in 100 yards, take the next slip road. The instructions are very basic, whereas the Garmin gives you a much more detailed direction and makes it easier to follow. I was going to say that the Garmin gives you all the lane guidance, but I was actually really surprised, and the cheaper Sat Nav does give a really good lane guidance. I was quite impressed with it. It was, if not as good as the Garmin's. The only issues that I've had with the cheaper Sat Nav is it's not so great with its GPS. Occasionally, if you're driving up the motorway or you're driving up a road and another road runs parallel with it, it will jump across to another road and recalculate the route, but it's not been a problem for me because you can see exactly what it's doing and you can ignore it, and once that road veers off away from running parallel with the road you're supposed to be on, it jumps back and recalculates again. So that's one thing that I've noticed that it does that the Garmin doesn't do. Now, I see a lot of truckers that will use Google Maps and they'll cross-reference their route with a trucker atlas and check out all the bridges, low bridges, and stuff like that, whereas that's all well and good, but when you get close to your destination and you come across weight limits, that's when you start panicking, that's when you start stressing. It's not worth it. Get one of these, 60 quid. It's perfect, does the job really, really well. It's avoided all the weight limits for me, and it's avoided all the low bridges exactly the same as the Garmin would. It's not been any different. Now, this is going to save you a lot of stress and a lot of hassle if you're not using a dedicated truck Sat Nav. So, bearing in mind at the moment on Amazon, this is a £60 Sat Nav. Now, would I buy this if I didn't have £350 to spunk on a Garmin? Absolutely, definitely. Would I use this in place of a car TomTom? Definitely. Now, is my Garmin £300 better than this Amazon truck Sat Nav? Absolutely not. If you got £350 to spend on a Sat Nav, absolutely go for the Garmin. It's just dedicated to the job that it does. It's completely reliable. It's, you know, it's smooth, non-clunky. You get the unlimited updates. You get all the traffic. You get traffic on this, but it's been a bit hit and miss, and it doesn't reroute you. It just lets you know. The Garmin has saved me hours and hours and hours with the rerouting that it does when there's long delays. The Garmin will also give me weather information and all that sort of stuff, but this is Android based, so download a weather app. It will do exactly the same thing. I don't know. I was ready to rip this little Sat Nav to shreds, but I've not been able to. I'll be doing a more in-depth long-term use review, and I'll hopefully have that for you soon. But after using it for 2 days. It's a great little bit of kit. So there we go, back at the yard now. Hope you found that helpful. Just a small disclaimer, I have bought this Sat Nav out of my own money. I'm not being sponsored at all by any manufacturer to do this review. I bought it simply to help you guys, and just a little bit intrigued myself to see how these cheaper Sat Navs perform. There is Amazon links down below. They are affiliate links, so theoretically it is in my best interest to sell you the Garmin, the more expensive Sat Nav, but as you can tell, I haven't. And yeah, if you don't want to fork out £350, there's not a lot in it, really. So there you go. Thanks very much. Catch you later, guys.